We represent over 90,000 members across the province of Ontario. These are the men and women who build, maintain, and strengthen the vital infrastructure that our municipalities rely on each and every day. We are investing in resilient and reliable infrastructure and that has tremendous impacts on our economy and on the growth and competitiveness of our region. Premier Ford and his government have demonstrated a strong leadership in investing in jobs, investing in infrastructure like the 413. And of course, investing in the future of Ontario. Over the past 4 years, the Ford government made a promise to cut red tape and advance apprenticeship opportunities, scrap the burdensome Ontario College of Trades, and invest in skilled trades and a skilled workforce. And they have delivered. They continue to make strategic and proactive investments in infrastructure that will address the projected growth of our regions, investing in both transit and highway infrastructure that will connect our communities, strengthen our supply chain, and accelerate the tremendous growth and opportunities that we all deserve and our children deserve. Their proposed 413 would create 800 jobs annually in construction and other related industries and generate up to $2.3 billion of earnings for workers in Ontario while advancing 600 new apprenticeships. When you invest in strong infrastructure and a plan like Doug Ford's plan here in Ontario, you invest in opportunities for a skilled workforce. LIUNA members are ready to continue building a strong foundation and a path forward for Ontario with our premier, the next premier also of Ontario, Doug Ford.
Thank you. Boy, well, first of all, good morning, everyone, and I'm just excited, and thank you, Joe, for that introduction. And I know you've always been a champion for the people of Ontario, and thank you for everything that your hard-working LIUNA members are doing every single day. You guys are all champions. You're out there building Ontario. And I'll tell you, folks, I love getting out of the Queen's Park bubble. I call it the Queen's Park bubble, and listening to the real priorities of the real people, including people right here in Brampton and Caledon, because this is where you hear the real stories. This is where you get the best ideas. It's where you see what the province is all about, where you see what Ontario is really made of. My friends, we've all been through a lot the last couple of years, but we've gotten through the worst of it, and we've come out stronger and more united than ever. And I'll tell you, there's a real momentum. I feel that momentum out there. Anywhere I go, I can feel it, and people are excited. They're pumped up. People are out there and ready to go. They're ready to roll up their sleeves and get the work done. And when it comes to fighting for local families, there's nobody I want on my side more than leaders like our great team over there, Graham McGregor representing Brampton, and Sylvia Jones, and the whole team, PC candidates, and Charmaine, I can list them all, Amarjot, Prab, and Hardeep. We have a great team out in Peel Region and throughout Ontario. And I have to I got to give a shout out to Mayor Thompson. The guy's an absolute champion up in Caledon. He's retiring, but you know, Mayor, you've done an incredible amount of work for the people of Caledon here. We have a team that is ready to get to work, a team that is ready to get it done, because we have big challenges ahead of us, folks. Together, we're tackling the hardest problems and delivering real solutions. That means rebuilding Ontario's economy with better jobs and bigger paychecks. It means keeping costs down for Ontario families and putting more money back into your pockets. It means working for workers as we get more people into the skilled trades, and skilled trades are a priority. It means keeping our province and economy open today and in the future. And it means saying yes to building highways and transit and getting you out of traffic. It's what families expect, and it's what they deserve, especially right here in Peel, where traffic congestion is getting worse and worse every single day. That's why today we're once again saying yes to building Highway 413. Folks, once this gets built, once we build Highway 413, just think of this. It will save 30 minutes per trip for a commuter, and that's an hour of your day returned to you. That's 5 hours per week out of gridlock and in your home with your loved ones. Highway 413 is part of our province-wide plan to build new roads, highways, and transit for all of Ontario. We're saying yes to the Bradford Bypass in York Region. We're saying yes to Kitchener's Highway 7. We're saying yes to twinning Highway 3 for the people of Windsor. And I remember, when I was down in Windsor, they love the expansion of the Highway 3. And also we're saying yes to expanding Highway 401 east for the great people out in Eastern Ontario. Friends, we're saying yes to building roads and highways no matter where you live. We'll cut through all the excuses, all the obstacles and delays, and it's time to start pouring the concrete. It's time to get paving, and it's time to get it done. You know, my friends, you won't believe this one, but Stephen Del Duca is already vowing to cancel this project. He wants to leave drivers stranded, stuck and separated from their families. It's the pattern learned as Kathleen Wynne's transportation minister. For 15 years, the Liberals had the opportunity to help the people of Brampton, but they said no. They wasted billions of your tax dollars. They left our economy stalled. They left our healthcare system on the brink. They let your electricity costs skyrocket. They left drivers right here in Brampton and across Peel stranded in traffic. They refused to build for a growing province. And now the Del Duca Wynne Liberals want another try. They want you to forget about those nasty, nasty 15 long years. They want to drag us back to the past. Folks, as for Andy Horvath and the NDP, for every solution, you notice they always have a problem. They always have an excuse. They always want to criticize. They've always been opposed to getting things built. Some things just never change. The Liberals and NDP, all they want to do is talk and no action. Their transit plans will never include roads or highways drivers need. Instead, they want to study after study, task force after task force, committee after committee. They want to delay after delay. That's no way to build a province, folks. That's no way to build the future. We came into this office to do things differently, to stop the same old political games. Now it's time to take the next step. It's time to make this election about saying yes. My friends, make no mistake. This is the choice we face on June the 2nd. And it's a very clear choice. If you want excuses, if you want more delays, more empty talk and promises, well, you've got a lot of options in this election. But if you want to get it done, you have one choice. It's time to get it done for every worker looking for a new and better job. It's time to get it done by connecting Northern Minerals to future of electric vehicles and batteries. And it's time to get it done for families struggling with the cost of living. And my friends, it's time to get it done for everyone looking to buy a home. It's time to get it done for the nurses and PSWs who want to work in Ontario in the Ontario communities who desperately need them. It's time to get it done for our seniors who want to stay longer in their homes. And it's time to get it done for every driver stuck in traffic and every family frozen out of the housing market. It's time to get it done for Brampton, for Caledon, for Mississauga and Vaughan, throughout Peel and across Ontario. It's time to get it done, but first, we need your help. We can't do it alone. We need everyone in the province to get out the message. It's a message of hope and optimism, a message that Ontario's best days are ahead. A future with better jobs, bigger paychecks, and endless opportunities. Friends, we have the team, we have the vision, and we have the plan. So on June the 2nd, everybody, let's do it. Let's get it done. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario.
Hi, Mr. Ford. I just wanted to ask you, how much is the 413 going to cost? Because it's not costed in last Thursday's budget.
Yeah, well, we're going to continue to move forward on the 413, getting it built. We're going out there. We're going out for a bid process, and once we get the bid process, we'll have a better idea what it's cost. But it's absolutely critical, Robert, that we get this province moving. We make sure we continue to build the highways and transit, and on top of that, building roads and bridges. People are tired of the gridlock traffic that they see every single day sitting there, no matter if it's here in Peel or on the 401, right across this province. People want to get to home and get things built, and that's what we're going to do.
And as a follow-up,
Sure.
Buck a Ride sounds like something you would have run on in 2018. The Liberal promise to lower transit prices to $1 a ride. Doesn't that sound like a good idea to get people off of the roads and into transit? I know you've been concerned about ridership because it's down because of the pandemic and all that.
Well, over 15 years, the Del Duca and Wynne Liberals did nothing. They built nothing. When we took office, we put a concept together. We got the financing and collaboration between all three levels of government that they couldn't get. As we speak right now, we have the drilling machines in the ground doing 4 subway projects. We're building the 413, Bradford Bypass, Highway 3, Highway 7, extension of the 401. We're getting it done. The Liberals, NDP, for 15 years, they just talked and made excuses and couldn't get it done. We're getting it built.
Hi, Premier.
Hi.
Alan Hale from Queen's Park today.
Hi.
In your pledge to get it done yesterday, you promised that the province will build 1.5 million homes over 10 years.
That's right.
But the spring budget that you released last week says that there are only going to be 340,000 homes built in the next 4 years. That seems about half what you would need to be on target for 1.5 million. How do you square that?
You know something, I got to give a big compliment to Minister Clark. He's done an incredible job. We're cutting the red tape. We've consulted with 444 municipalities, and one of the municipalities, the great leader, Mayor Thompson over there. We're going to make sure that we standardize process right across the province and get houses built. That's what we need to do. It's a supply and demand issue.
Well, on the subject of Minister Clark, he got an award from the Mayor of Oakville for stopping a golf course from being turned into housing. Is that something that is going to continue in the next term?
Well, you know something, I think that was the right decision for the people of Oakville. There's plenty of opportunity out there, plenty of time to build houses. We need to cut through the red tape and all the regulations and make sure that we get housing built, and that's exactly what we're going to do, to a tune of $1.5 million, and that's our low estimate. We'll do better.
Hi, Mr. Ford. A
how you
question.
doing, Colin?
I'm well, thank you. A question about the abortion debate. Back in 2019, you had said that you would not reopen any abortion
That's right.
issues in the legislature. Given the renewed concern over the issue, wanted to get your stand currently on the abortion debate.
Well, thanks for the question, Colin. First of all, the U.S. Supreme Court has absolutely zero jurisdiction in Canada. We are not changing anything in Ontario. We're keeping it exactly the same.
Okay, given that, though, at the same time, you say the PC tent is pretty big and welcoming of diverse views. Where do you draw the line, though? Are pro-life or anti-abortion views welcome in the Ontario Progressive Conservative Party?
You know something, our opponents and everyone wants to change the topic. People want to talk about building. They want to talk about building roads and highways and bridges and hospitals and schools, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on the issues that matter to the people of Ontario, and we're going to continue building.
Mr. Ford, Siobhan with CTV News.
Hi.
You've made this commitment to cut gas and fuel taxes in July. We're seeing record prices again today. Are you open to the possibility of any more long-lasting change on that front to make gas affordable as it continues to be high for months and maybe years to come?
Yeah, I'll tell you what we've done. We first, we're out of the gate, we cut gas tax by 4.3%, and then we're cutting it again by 5.7%, giving people relief. We're putting money back into people's pockets by getting rid of that terrible sticker tax that the Liberals continue to increase. That is gone. We're making sure that we're getting rid of the tolls and building roads and bridges and highways. Compared to the Liberal NDP, they want to add the tolls. They want to take more money into your pocket. They'll bring back the sticker. They won't build anything. They will build absolutely nothing. We're getting the job done. We're going to continue building highways, roads, and bridges.
But on gas taxes, after December, when the temporary cut expires, is there anything more you can do? Can you foresee extending that at all?
Well, let's wait until December, but in the meantime, we're going to give relief to the people of Ontario by, again, getting rid of their 7.1 million people. They got a rebate, and the stories I heard about those rebate checks, how much they help families, is incredible. So we're going to continue putting money back into people's pockets.
Hi, Mr. Ford.
Hi.
Matt from Global News.
Hey, Matt.
I didn't really hear an answer to Rob's first question there. The price tag for this,
Yeah.
Highway 413. I know there is a tender process. People are voting on this, though, and they want to trust you at your word. Give us a ballpark.
Well, you know, something the worst thing you do on a construction site is give an exact dollar figure. We're going out for bid. They're going to be a competitive bid through the process. And once we have that bid, we'll make it public.
But $10 billion, 12, like just a general idea.
Again, we're going to have to go out for bid, and we'll get a very competitive cost by a multitude of different companies, but we're going to get this road built and the highway built.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Ford. Matt
Hi.
Maydew, the Canadian Press.
Hi.
Mr. Stephen Del Duca says that Conservatives are always on the attack against publicly funded education. There was a lot of anger among the public service sector and the education sector and other public service workers about Bill 124. That was a time-limited restraint on wages increase. If you were re-elected, would you reintroduce something like a similar limit on wage increases, or will you allow public sector workers to get raises more than 1%?
Okay, so let me start off with your first question about education. Under the Liberals, they closed 600 schools. 600, that's unbelievable. We're building $14 billion of schools. And I always believe a fair wage for the people. We've increased the minimum wage upwards to $15.50. Again, we're putting money more back into people's pockets. We're taking care of the PSWs at $3 an hour. We committed that promise, made sure our great healthcare workers are getting on an average of 7.6% with a $5,000 bonus. We're always going to have the interest of the people at heart.
Okay, thank you. Now on another topic,
Yep.
In the last election you promised to put beer and wine in corner stores.
Yes.
And there was some negotiation with a beer store, and
Yep.
your government basically stopped talking about it after this negotiation. Are you at this point waiting for the massive framework agreement to expire, or?
Yeah, great question. We actually added hundreds and hundreds of additional stores across the province into the corner stores, especially in the rural areas. We're going to continue to make sure it's a free choice for people to go and get beer or a bottle of wine, and that's what we're going to continue to do. But we have opened hundreds of stores across the province.
Morning, Premier.
Hi.
Antonella Artuso
Hey,
from the
Antonella.
Toronto Sun. I wanted to ask further about Del Duca's commitment. He said he would stop Highway 413. He would spend that money to repair schools.
Yeah.
Why? You said this election is about choices. Why do you think your choice is better than his?
Well, again, I'm going to go back, Antonella, and tell you what I said earlier. He closed 600 schools. The backlog of repair, the state of good repair, tripled under the Liberals. You know, he's just, all he does is talk and talk, wants to set up all these committees and studies. We're building $14 billion of new schools. We're catching up on the backlog of good state of repair. And it's just such a contrast. You know, they destroyed our province, destroyed our healthcare, our education, long-term care. They didn't build any roads or bridges highways at all. It was a total disaster. They lost jobs and drove the economy into the ground by losing 300,000 jobs. As we stand here today, Antonella, there's 500,000 more people working today than they were when we took office. We have 338,000 jobs available. We have the economy moving in the right direction.
Thank you. People are struggling just to pay gas to drive on that highway behind you, let alone pay for one of those houses behind you. So
Yeah.
what does this announcement do today for the average person who's struggling with cost of living issues?
Well, what it does is create thousands of jobs. There's going to be over 8,000 jobs created building these highways. That's just this highway, not to mention the Highway 3 and Highway 7 and 401. We're building transit right across the province, and especially in the Toronto GTA area to a tune of $30 billion. That's giving people an opportunity to get better jobs, bigger paychecks, and we're also putting money back into people's pockets. All the Liberals and NDP believe in tax, 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 gouge the people, the hardworking people, people that are earning $50,000 or lower, they're getting a $300 tax break. They just want to jack it to them and just increase taxes and get nothing done. We're going to get it done. We're getting it done, and we're going to make sure this province continues to be prosperous.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We're good.